Most people define their pain by what actually triggers it. For example, I can't sit, I can't walk. My pain keeps me from bending, lifting, exercising. And then those activities get labeled as the problem. But the truth is that the activity that causes your pain, or even the area of your body that hurts, may not be what's keeping you stuck in a pain cycle. My name's Dr. Katie, and I teach people to understand the language of their body so they can respond with more curiosity and compassion. Thanks for tuning into my video today, and if you're not already a subscriber, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on awesome conversations just like this one. So let's talk about why we tend to focus on those pain triggers. It makes a lot of sense, right? Those are the things that are most frustrating in our daily life. Those pain triggers are something we call functional limitations, and they are generally the focus of traditional treatment. We focus on improving range of motion, strength, and general body awareness in order to make these activities better and reduce functional limitations. That's how progress is usually measured. And that works for the majority of pain conditions and injuries, but it doesn't work for everybody. And those are the people that eventually drove me to create the body literacy method, because I could see that there was something that wasn't addressed in our traditional treatment methods. So if you're someone who has sought physical therapy or other treatment for pain, and you were either left feeling worse, feeling like there was no difference, or only finding temporary relief, I understand. And tuning into this video is going to help you to understand why and let you know that there is another way forward. For the folks who don't respond to a traditional pain treatment, you often have to sit back and take a look at the bigger picture. In my work, I distinguish between pain triggers versus pain promoters. Let me explain what that means. Pain triggers are the things that we've already discussed in this video. They're the activities, movements, or tasks that actually directly cause an increase in pain. Pain promoters are the less obvious factors that are working in the background to prime the nervous system for a pain experience. They're the things that cause the nervous system to be more sensitive and to respond at lower levels of input, stress, or sensation. If you want to learn more about what that means, I'm going to tag my previous video about sensitized nervous systems down below. Make sure you check it out because it goes in depth on what that actually means. In the meantime, I'm going to use an analogy to explain a little bit of what I mean. This glass represents the amount of input your nervous system can handle before it produces or amplifies pain. Now, this isn't a literal formula for pain. It's just a different way to understand how different stressors and factors can accumulate within the nervous system and contribute to pain. So this glass has a lot of space in it. We will not experience pain or increased pain until it overflows. That single activity that increases your pain doesn't fill this glass on its own. In reality, there's multiple different factors that are contributing to this glass overflowing. For example, you didn't sleep well last night. You're under a lot of ongoing stress at work and at home. You skipped breakfast, or maybe you're a little dehydrated. You're dealing with anxiety or depression or other chronic health conditions like diabetes or heart disease. And maybe you're experiencing stress or fear around what your pain actually means. None of these factors directly cause your pain, but they do fill your cup. And so when your cup is already this full and you decide to go for a walk, you experience pain because your nervous system can't handle that added input. It is already at capacity. So in the moment, it seems like walking caused the pain. That is a logical next step to assume. But when you look at it from this perspective, there was so much that happened within your system before that walk to line things up for a pain experience. Naturally, in traditional treatment, we focus on improving walking. We address the tissues. We work on improving range of motion, strength. We do massage, stretches, exercises. Because all of that can work. Sometimes the thing that's pushing that cup to overflowing is weakness, tightness, something along those lines. The problem is when you're dealing with a nervous system that is already close to overflowing, those interventions can actually be the stressor that overflows the cup. And so in those cases, people end up feeling worse after treatment, not because it was the wrong intervention, but because their system was already at capacity and couldn't handle that level of stress, that level of input. In other cases, the interventions are effective at emptying the glass a little bit. This is why people feel better while they're going to therapy, while they're undergoing the treatment. But then when they're discharged and those interventions stop, their glass fills right back up to where it began and the pain comes back. And this is where addressing pain promoters can make a meaningful difference. So when we address pain promoters, we decrease the amount of stress that's already in the system. So then when we decide to go for a walk, that amount of input doesn't overwhelm our system. We don't experience pain, or the pain we experience is less intense. The activity didn't change. The activity still creates the same amount of stress on the system. What changed is the capacity that our system had for taking on that stress. That gives us more room to gradually start working on doing those activities that are your pain triggers. And that doesn't mean you have to eliminate every stressor in your life, or that if you do so, you will never experience pain. It may still take stretching, strengthening, range of motion, gradual exposure, even modifying some activities. But in conjunction with working behind the scenes on reducing pain promoters, it can make a significant difference in how your nervous system processes activities. Emptying our glass may mean changing some lifestyle habits. It may mean working on our sleep hygiene, our nutrition, our hydration habits. It may mean working on improving boundary setting in work and your personal life. We may need help processing emotions or trauma, or adjusting an unsustainable schedule. We aren't eliminating every stressor. There is always going to be some water in this glass. The goal is just to reduce the load so that you're not asking your nervous system to do the impossible. Addressing pain promoters doesn't replace physical rehabilitation, and it doesn't mean that the body part that hurts doesn't matter. It all matters. And that's the point. It all matters. When we get tunnel vision and only focus on addressing the body part that hurts, we are missing this whole other side of being human. This approach just treats the whole human instead of separating our body into pieces that work in isolation when they don't. I also want you to know that you do not have to work through this alone. I actually recommend that you don't. Safe support and connection is an important part of nervous system work. Trying to tackle this alone or trying to tackle everything at once may overwhelm your system even more. If you're unsure whether you're dealing with pain promoters or you're not sure what next step to take, I encourage you to schedule a 15-minute free consultation with me. Let's talk about it, talk about what you're experiencing, and maybe I can help guide you to knowing what the next best step is for you in your circumstances. Or if you're not ready for that, I have some great free resources. I will tag both the link to schedule a free consultation as well as the link to my free resources down in the description. And feel free to comment on this video with any questions. Let me know how this landed. That's all I have for you today. I'm sending you all so much love, and I will see you in the next video.